I'm Stephanie Rowland. I run the Chamber of Commerce here. I can honestly tell you I've only had about 2 phone calls in the last, couple, 2-3 years about the road. They weren't particularly good, but now I only had 2. So I think that's saying something. The community is ready for this. They're ready to embrace it. And today, thank you for stopping to celebrate this milestone. So our first speaker today is Jeromy Hicks. He is our chairman of our chamber. Troy, I think I'm too loud.
Walk right here.
The tree? Okay. Anyway, here's Jeromy Hicks. I'm out.
Wow, thank you everybody for being here today. Okay. I want to welcome everybody here from on behalf of North Mason Chamber and all of our membership in the community and the businesses. I want to thank DOT here today and all the companies that were involved. I know Secanti was a big company involved in the project, and as many of you know, we probably go by and say, what the heck is Secanti doing? You know, blocking the road, doing all this stuff. But I hope we also understand that the work they did is why we're here today. So they did do a great job. I was hoping Jack would be here from Secanti, because I'm sure he fielded a lot more phone calls than Stephanie did. This roadway here is going to be obviously dedicated here in a little bit, but this is what's going to bring business to our community. It's going to make our residents easier to travel, safer to travel through the roadways. It's gratifying to see the results of the new road already benefiting the business community. We have new businesses that have already come to town. The Salad Shack, Peninsula Community Health Services is here today, Bent Vine Brewery, and we look forward to welcoming more business as this goes on. In preparation, our membership of the Chamber have already stepped up to organize a beautification committee. Thanks to our citizens and companies across the county, we've raised $20,000 towards wayfinding signage that will be coming in here pretty quickly. The community is co-chaired by Kitsap Bank Manager, Assistant Vice President Kim Johnson, and Dr. Brian Peterson, which has not been able to be here today, but he did ask me to read something for him real quick, so bear with me and I'll read his notes. Again, from Dr. Brian Peterson. What an exciting time for both the present and future of Belfair. The future is so bright. Brand new state-of-the-art schools, new businesses and service, and a new senior center. The Downtown Corridor Improvement Project, after nearly 14 years of advocating endlessly for the project, I'm so proud to see its completion. There are lots of folks to thank along the way. Many current and past county and state elects for sure. Some of who are present today. I want to give a special shout out to three who I will never forget for what they did in Belfair and faced tough negotiations at times of heavy opposition. Mason County Commissioners Herb Bays and the late Bob Holter deserve recognition today. These two had the courage to alter the course and push in a new direction back in the early 2000s. In an effort to do what was right for the future downtown Belfair. Despite political pushback, if it wasn't for their courage to do what was right, as opposed to perhaps what may have been more politically expedient at the time, we would not have this project completed today. Lastly, I want to recognize former County Administrator Ron Hendrickson. After receiving direction from the aforementioned commissioners, Ron was diligent, focused, and efficient in hiring a firm to produce a conceptual design and cost estimates for the project. He was all about progress. He was about making things happen and getting stuff done. Had he not aggressively taken the bull by the horns with this project, it would not have been prepared and been able to be added to the state's gas task project list. We would not be here celebrating this completion today without Ron Hendrickson's tenaciousness years ago. This project has certainly changed the face of our community, but the completion of the project only signals the beginning of stuff to come. Get out there and spread the word, folks. We are getting started around here. See you soon, Dr. Brian Peterson. And we do have his parents. Can you wave for him? Herm and Sandy? Thank you guys, definitely for the hard work, and hopefully the video of this gets back to Brian. It's out of the country right now, but he has done a lot of work for this. So with that being said, I'm going to pass the microphone back to Stephanie and be quiet for a little bit.
Thank you, Jeromy.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is from the Washington State Department of Transportation. I'm so excited today. John Wynands, everybody. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is John Wynands, and I'm the region administrator for the DOT in this area. And I've worked on and off on this project for a long time, back even when I was a designer. And so this is a long time coming, and I recognize that. I want to thank you, but it's sort of like buying a new house that you just had built. We're ready for you to move in. There's a few punch list items left, but we're turning it over to the new owners. So, and we're very happy about that. There's a lot of factors come together. Brian Peterson's comments reflected some of the things that have to happen to get a project like this done. A lot of will and determination drive projects like this forward. Funding, prioritizing, recognizing importance, getting it pushed out the door. And there's a lot of people that help make that happen. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of patience, as you all know only too well. But the vision for this project was to reduce collisions, to reduce congestion, and improve bike and ped facilities. We actually came across, as we were driving into town this morning, there were some people walking down the sidewalk in Belfair. How cool is that? That's good stuff right there. New stormwater facilities. There's new stormwater facilities collecting all the highway runoff, cleaning it before it turns it into the incredible waterway that you all are fortunate to have in your backyard here. So we're very excited about that as well. But mostly, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to the people of Mason County, the people and businesses of Belfair. I know this. You go all the way back to the sewer line, the water line. Then we came in and did more utilities. Then we did some more utilities. And then we moved you around all over the place as we tried to minimize impacts to you and your daily lives while rebuilding this entire facility. The contractor did a great job. But I want to really thank the citizens and the businesses of Belfair for their patience. I also want to thank our DOT staff that worked on this. Michelle Britton is our project engineer, standing here near the front of the crowd. A lot of you know Michelle. Michelle spent a lot of sleepless nights and hectic days as she and her entire team worked on this project, and I appreciate their efforts very much. It's great. And thanks to our contractor, Secanti, who also worked very closely with us in getting this done. So, again, thank you. Here's your new highway. We hope you enjoy it. We'll be around to maintain it. And again, just thank you all for everything you did.
Okay, Dale, the expert, tells me we should be standing over here. Okay, here we go. Our next speaker is Mason County Commissioner and also an ex officio trustee of our Chamber of Commerce, Randy Neatherlin.
This is a momentous occasion for many different reasons. The ones of us that live here actually have seen this many times as being controversial. There was the idea and the argument about the bypass and the road widening, but here's the thing. They were both right. Without a doubt, they were both right. This is a big burden lifted off our shoulders today, but it's not just because the road is opened up now. It's not just because of the traffic we've had to deal with for a while. It's because finally now these businesses will not die after 3 o'clock in the afternoon anymore. The traffic that we had, the issues that we had really seriously impacted our community and how we treated each other. And there's some great things that have to go out today. One of them will be speaking here shortly, but I'm looking right at him and I want to tell everybody this couldn't have happened if Senator Sheldon did not put this money forward and make this happen. We needed both, but you still have to get one piece at a time. Now we have the bypass coming too. But we got this now because somebody took the time and fought and made it happen. Another thank you that has to go out. It has to, because he's been a huge advocate for this from the very beginning, even when at times where there was war because of it, but he was right, it had to be done, and that's Dr. Brian Peterson. Not only was he instrumental in fighting from day one to get this done, he stayed with it the whole time to make sure that these businesses were taken care of, to make sure that it was going to be beautiful when it was done. We had issues that we were looking at chain link fence going through Belfair, and believe me, there was no way Brian Peterson was going to stand for that, if you know Brian. And we need to give a great thanks to the Department of Transportation, Michelle Britton back here in the back. You see, all you people, when you called me and you were mad and you had issue and we had problems that were going on, she's the one I would call and we would make it happen. She would get these things done. We have a lot to be thankful for today. But some of the things are the ones you're not going to notice. My first one that I didn't notice is I was on my way to an event, and there was an accident that I passed by. Now think about that for a minute. This is Belfair. It was in front of Les Schwab, and I passed by an accident. That doesn't happen, remember? Both lanes were going. We're continuing to move as we had a fire truck, a police car, and a couple cars that were in an accident, and we continued moving. That would never have happened. How many times have we slowed down over the years because of that? This is a very, very momentous occasion. And I look forward to the businesses starting to take off again at 3 o'clock. You got 17,000 cars go through here a day. That should have been a benefit for them at 3 o'clock, but it was hurting them. Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Brian Peterson. Thank you, DOT. And thank you, all of you that worked so hard to make this happen. And thank you to all the businesses that held out long enough to survive this, because now you will all do better. So God bless this beautiful community. I hope we continue to do well. Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much. I'm pleased to welcome Washington State Senator Tim Sheldon.
Thanks, Stephanie. Gee, it's great to see so many people out here today, and it's a lot of fun to finally look out at that road and see traffic moving so quickly, and it's a beautiful, beautiful completion. I also want to thank Michelle. She has been at all the meetings, community meetings, the voice meetings, the commission meetings on the fourth Wednesdays and Thursdays, and taken a lot of time to keep everybody informed of what's going on. I wrote down a couple things just to give you kind of a quick history. I've been in the legislature since 1991, so I'm the gray-haired guy now, the oldest living legislator is still in office, and I'm vice chair of the Senate Transportation Committee. But back in 2005, the majorities were very tight, and we've seemed to see that over the years. I see our Congressman Kilmer here today too. He was a freshman that year in the House of Representatives in Washington State Legislature in 2005 when we had the Transportation Partnership Account. And those monies were gas tax monies. No federal monies were involved. And I was able to find appropriation for $15.7 million for widening of the Highway 3. Also, $15 million for the bypass. Well, $15 million for the bypass isn't going to cut it, but we do have funding finally to begin the bypass in 2019, and that's $76 million to take it all the way from Lake Flora Road all the way to Highway 302. But we based that estimate of $15.9 million on the county, and the county, Jeromy mentioned, the county had been working on this idea of widening the bypass, and that was their estimate, $15.9 million. Now when we finish, we'll have spent $26.5 million on this project. So DOT had a lot of other considerations like stormwater, of course, and the water table in Belfair, the widening, all the problems that you go through in construction projects when you'd really have an estimate that's just not gonna make it. So it took a long time. We all know that, and we're glad that it's finally finished. But we also had a contribution, one local contribution of $407,000 from the Belfair Water District. You know, they had to relocate all their lines and improve the lines here. So big thanks to the Water District who hung in there over all these years, and those ratepayers for the Water District that saw their bills go up, but it's a completed project, and as Randy says, it's going to really bring new business into our area. When we first funded this project, it went supposedly to all the way to 106. Now that was not done. Obviously it was phased. In DOT terms, phased means shortened, and it was shortened, but still there's a possibility that we will get that 0.45 miles completed out to Highway 106. That's not in the funding matrix right now, but I think we can get it in there, and it's going to be a tough one to do because there's 3 fish barriers to overcome to complete that. So we're looking forward, of course, to the bypass and all the other improvements that we'll have. The projects here are for us locally are just as complicated as building a tunnel in Seattle. There's very many barriers as well, but we're a rural area, and I tell people, you know, the 35th district is the most rural district in the state of Washington. Now you would think that would be in Okanagan County or Ferry County someplace, or east, certainly east of the crest of the Cascades, but it's not. It's right here in Mason County, Thurston, and Kitsap, because we only have one incorporated city, which is Sheldon, and a little bit of Bremerton. So we're dependent on our individual wells. We're dependent on county law enforcement. I see our officer over here. We're really dependent on our county government. And last thing to close with, you saw a new Tractor Supply coming into Sheldon. What will happen to Tractor Supply? My prediction, it'll be annexed into the city. Now, the new businesses that come in here are not going to be annexed into the city. It's going to go back to the county to offset some of your tax money that you're paying, and also to enhance our local community. So there's great benefits of this highway and great benefits of the other infrastructure that's gone in. It's been a huge transformation. And I guess I have to apologize. It's an awful shame that it took since 2005 to get it built. But as Judy Scott just mentioned to me, good projects take a long time. And this one did, but it's a great project. So thank you very much for everyone that helped, and thank you for being here today.
Thanks for coming. Thank you. Okay, our last speaker, United States Representative Derek Kilmer, in his colorful purple tie. I love it.
It's good to be here. Good to be with you. Let me start by saying thank you to Stephanie and the Chamber for putting this together. And thank you to the DOT and to the elected officials who spoke before me. But most importantly, I want to thank all of you, not just for being here, but for your contribution to this as taxpayers. It actually does take a village to build a road. It does have that new highway smell. Listen, there's a saying that change is inevitable, but progress is optional. And I actually think this project represents progress. It represents progress for safety, in that there's improved visibility and pedestrians can actually walk along Highway 3 now in Belfair. It represents progress for the environment in cleaning up our stormwater problems, and that's good for fish. But this project isn't just progress for fish, it's progress for drivers too. You know, there are too many areas in our state where he agrees. There are too many areas of our state where I think the speed limit signs are only there for nostalgic purposes, because you're not getting anywhere near that speed limit. You know, the ability to actually move people so that they're not stuck in traffic and can spend more time either with their families or at work or having fun, God forbid, enjoying the sunshine, you know, that represents progress too. But perhaps most importantly, I think this is progress when it comes to jobs, when it comes to economic development. You know, you've already heard examples of businesses who are choosing to locate here, including a brewery, which I think is super exciting. But that's, you know, that's progress economically for this community, and we need more progress when it comes to economic development. I think it's important that we grow jobs outside of the shadow of the Space Needle, so that we're providing economic opportunity in every zip code, including in rural areas where we need more good jobs. So I think this project is progress in that regard too. I'll just say one final thing. I think it is important that if and when the federal government takes up an infrastructure package, that it considers projects like this, where your federal dollar contributes not just to big mega projects in metropolitan areas, but to projects in rural communities too. And please know, as your representative back in our nation's capital, that's certainly going to be something I fight for. All right, thanks everybody.
Hey, thank you all. How about a round of applause for all of our speakers today? Thank you. Let's cut the ribbon.
1, 2, 3.